think it's a double-edged sword, and most of these things are not as black and white as they seem. Because on one hand, I don't agree with his beliefs, and I think he said a lot of things that are very hurtful and that influence people's opinions. At the same time, talking to someone through that and trying to get to the root of it and how much of it he used just as a social media tactic to maybe change the opinion of people who have been so influenced by him towards something that is maybe more understanding towards women or things like that could do some good. But at the same time, platforming someone like that and giving them more attention also signals to other people who have a platform that it's okay. So it's kind of weighing the pluses and the minuses.
Personally, and it is funny, like I think the whole way he rose to fame is just a growth hack, and I've seen other people do it where like you just say kind of, honestly, I don't really listen to his content because I just find it so dumb, but I think he knows that by saying the dumbest, most controversial things, that's like a quick rise to fame. And I think surface level, like he can really hold it up, but that's why I would honestly enjoy tuning into a conversation where you're really breaking down to the core of those beliefs. And I think like the young kids who look up to him, and when you actually hear someone challenging it, could actually be helpful for people.
But I'm also afraid of a society where you can't have discourse with people with people you disagree with. And even though I don't like Andrew Tate, I think the fact that he got banned from all the platforms is kind of scary because it sets a precedent. And you always have to ask yourself, would this be ethical if I was on the other side? And even things with a president like Trump, even if, let's say, you're somebody who was on the left, if that would have happened to a leftist president, how would you feel? Would you think that's morally ethical?
Hello, I'm James and welcome back to another edition of I&I. As you can see, the better half is not with me again. So yes, she had a problem yesterday. She went out and she took our 2-year-old daughter with us, and I think she overestimated just how heavy this little girl is. She tried to put her on her shoulders to walk with, and boom, her shoulder just gave way. And so right now she has a really bad cricked neck. She's unable to move. She's resting at this moment. So unfortunately, she won't be able to join us for today. She hasn't even been able to edit the content actually. So I'm having to take over for the next week or so. And we've got some good news because we're going to be doing more than one video a week from here on in. It's not all bad, but yeah, please send her your prayers, and yeah, hopefully she will get well soon. But this gives us a bit of an opportunity to have a little chat. So some of you may have noticed the thumbnail, and you may have noticed the Tate brothers, and I know a lot of you would have clicked on the thumbnail because of the Tate brothers, but some of you discerning viewers may have clicked on the thumbnail because of the two young ladies that are also in it. These two young girls are the BOTEZS sisters, 20-year-old Andrea and 23-year-old Alexandra. They are also content creators, both on YouTube and on the streaming platform Twitch. So these young ladies are actually very well known. And you can see it's a lot to do with the way they look. They are beautiful young women, right? But the thing is that these two young girls are more than meets the eye. You see, these two young ladies are also champions, chess champions. Yes, their father brought them up to be chess prodigies, and these two have won a number of championships within their age class as they were growing up. So they are formidable chess players. The other day I was sitting there, I was on YouTube as you do, and I saw a short, and I could see those two were visiting Transylvania. And of course they were doing this because it was just Halloween. I only saw this 2 days ago, right? So they were in Transylvania. And those of you will know who used to live in Transylvania. Yeah, that's right, Count Dracula. No. Okay, so of course they had to take up the opportunity to visit Transylvania to see the usual Halloween content creating BS. But that had me asking myself a question. I thought, well, here we are. We have these two beautiful young ladies who are at this moment in Romania. Transylvania is in Romania. And I'm thinking to myself, well, two chess prodigies in Romania. Who else is in Romania? Which other pair of siblings are in Romania who are the sons of a chess champion and who, in their own right, top of the line chess players themselves? Yeah, well, there you go. It's the Tate brothers, of course. And I'm sitting there thinking, wow, this can't be a coincidence, can it? I don't see the BOTEZ sisters traveling all the way from Canada. I believe that they are native to Canada. However, both their parents are Romanian. So it's clear that they would have gone back to Romania to kill two birds with one stone, or multiple birds with one stone. I don't see them traveling there just to visit a castle so they can make content for Halloween. I truly believe that they are there at this present moment, and I just don't see how this cannot happen. I believe these two ladies are going to go into battle versus the Tate brothers at chess. Would be perfect, wouldn't it? You know, to have these two pairs of siblings going against one another. And I can't see neither Andrew or Tristan turning an opportunity like that down. That's if the BOTEZ sisters would afford them the opportunity. That's a good question, isn't it? Would the BOTEZ sisters actually give the Tate brothers the light of day? Well, the Tate brothers have been trending for a number of months now, so I think anyone who has anything to do with YouTube would want to have something to do with them. And I think it would look really good for the BOTEZ sisters to absolutely destroy both Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate. It would also help to dispel some of those stereotypes surrounding women and their intelligence, that the modern woman is of course better than the high value man. I know, guys, this is a pretty long segue, but is Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, as so-called high value men, would they be able to get themselves a so-called high value woman? That is exactly who these BOTEZ sisters are. For me, they line up with everything what a high value man would look for in a high value woman. When I mean high value woman, I don't look at it, the high value man and a high value woman, from the same perspective. I think they are different. I think what you would look for in a high value woman would be different than what you would look for in a high value man. Tristan Tate is in a long-term relationship, I believe, with a woman, and from what I can see, she is a pretty good looking young lady. I couldn't imagine Tristan Tate being with somebody of subpar appearance. This doesn't tell me everything. It doesn't tell you that this woman is a high value woman, right? Is she a high value woman? Well, we don't know. Can Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate get themselves high value women? In today's video, we're going to try and answer this question. Before we get into this, I need to ask you guys a favor. A whopping 80% of the people who have been watching our videos have not subscribed to the channel. And I would like to ask if you are one of those 80% to please now subscribe to the channel. It's literally going to cost you absolutely nothing, and it will help us to bring this channel to a place where we can afford to put more resources, more time, more effort into our videos so we can make better free content for yourselves. So please go ahead and do that. It will help this channel to grow, and it will help us to make better content for you. So thank you in advance for doing so. So let's get into this. What is a high value woman? I mean, is there even such a thing as a high value woman? Well, I'm going to take a look at it from my own perspective, and I'm going to tell you now, this is a warning. You're not going to like this. There are going to be a lot of you who will not like what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm going to judge what a high value woman is based upon a lot of the views that have been given in a lot of our earlier videos. We read all of our comments, and from my perspective, after reading these comments, these are the three things that men look for in a high value woman. Number one, they are looking for a beautiful woman. I think looks is one of the most important things when a man looks for a woman. This is from what I see from these comments. I'm trying to sidestep this here. So I think number one, a woman's outer appearance is extremely important. This is what a man initially looks at. I think number 2, intelligence. I think this is a real intrinsic part of what a high value man will look for in a high value woman. Okay. I think that men look for intelligent women. I also think that a lot of men don't understand what intelligence in a woman is. And I think to break it down further, an intelligent woman is a woman who is able to think for herself, a woman who is not constantly following trends, or she's able to be a bit more compartmentalized in the way she thinks and doesn't let outer influences disturb her decision making. I think that is an integral part of intelligence, and I think having an intelligent woman is something a man always looks for. Well, actually no, not always looks for, but should be looking for anyway. Number three is the one that I think we're going to have a few problems with. I'm going to say this because of what men have been saying in my comment section. Number 3 is body count, and it looks like this is extremely important to many a high value man. When a man is looking for a long-term relationship with the woman that he's going to lay his seed with and that he's going to be with for the rest of his life, he sees that woman as not being or having many encounters physically with other men. Okay, I had to say that in that way, okay, for YouTube. So body count is very important. Man who is looking for a long-term relationship, okay? I have to stress the long-term part because there are many men, even me. I've been in relationships with women who have been perhaps a little loose, and because they've been that way, it was nice for me because I didn't feel the urge to be committed to that woman. So I could always say, okay, well, I'm not going to be committed to you for whatever reason. I didn't have to tell her for that reason, but I felt a little bit more freedom in telling that woman that, because she knew what it was like just to have sort of relationships with men with no commitment. Clearly, because you can't sleep with 30, 40, 50 men and be committed to each one, and still be 25 years old. That's impossible. It really is impossible. You would have had to have been or failing in being able to keep a relationship together. So for me, it was very liberating to be with a woman like that, because I could just go out and just do whatever I wanted to. It's like I was having my cake and eating it. So I'm sure there are other men out there that think the exact same way. But when you were looking for a long-term relationship, you were looking for a woman who knows how to hold down and stabilize a relationship, and will also, help you to become the better version of yourself. You're helping each other to become the best versions of yourselves, right? So I think I'm trying to explain myself, but I think I'm failing at this. Yeah. Listen, I'm just going to not explain myself. Men just want a woman with a low body count when it comes to having a long-term relationship. And I'm sorry to those that I have offended. Anyway, so would a woman who is intelligent, a woman who is beautiful, who is sought after, a woman who doesn't put it out to everyone, right? Would a woman like that go for a man like Andrew or Tristan Tate? And I argue that they wouldn't, right? I don't think they would. I don't think a high value woman would ever go after a Tristan or Andrew Tate. Why would they? Why? They don't need their money, right? I think Andrew Tate is intelligent in some ways, but in a lot of other ways, he's quite ignorant and has a lot of work to do. I heard the way he spoke about Africa, and I cringe. I was just thinking, oh my goodness, this dude has no idea. He even says at one point, I think I heard him say in an interview that he doesn't like traveling. It's like, who doesn't like traveling? You know, who doesn't like going off and exploring and meeting new people and, you know, learning about new cultures and new, you know, ideologies? Who doesn't like doing that? A lot of people love doing that because it keeps their mind ticking over, but he doesn't like it. And I'm like, does an intelligent woman want to sit down with Andrew Tate and talk about the things that he wants to buy? In fact, I think there is a video of Andrew and Tristan Tate sitting down eating lunch with, I think they were sitting and eating lunch with two other women. And the conversation was so mind-numbing. I just thought, oh my God, these two are they're not the brightest sparks. I don't think they are. You know, if you think I'm talking rubbish, think I'm being jealous, you think I'm just angry, envious, perhaps of what Tristan and Andrew Tate have built over the past couple of years, let me know in the comments section below, because I think there are going to be a lot of people who are going to perhaps agree with what I have to say. Yeah, we'll have to see about that. I have spoken many times about YouTubers, about content creators, and about how you see them when they are on their platform is just your perception of them, and that it may not necessarily be the person who they really are. Most content creators put on a facade in order for you to see them or perceive them in a specific way. Maybe Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate are just putting it on, but I just have a feeling that, you know, maybe they're not ignorant. Maybe they are incredibly intelligent people who are dumbing themselves down for the audience. But something tells me that just isn't the case. Something tells me that these two have put a lot of work into becoming better people monetarily, but have seldom put a lot of work into becoming better people spiritually or mentally. They believe that money runs the world and that they can get themselves anything with money. And to a certain degree, that is very true. But can you get yourselves a high value woman? Can you get yourselves a woman who is intelligent, beautiful, and has a low body count? Why would a woman like that be with an Andrew Tate? Why would a woman who's intelligent and beautiful need their money? They don't need their money. Not here in the West anyway. They will talk a lot about traditional values. And a lot of women who are intelligent would never be able to sit at home and become the traditional woman, you know, and take care of the kids and perhaps binge on daytime TV. I don't see any intelligent woman being able to do that. You also got to look at their line of work, their past work. I think that this is a big barrier for more women. I think most women actually today would not delve into a relationship with either Tristan or Andrew because of their past exploits with the cam medium. I've got to be very careful, guys, but he was doing something with cams and girls. Okay, so they were in that industry. I think that any woman involving themselves with a man who had even worked in that industry, let alone owned the damn platform, I think it would delegitimize them to a massive degree. As a woman, you don't want to be doing something that's going to negatively impact your own character. I don't know what Tristan or Andrew has to offer other than money. And I think for that reason, both Tristan and Andrew are attracting women who are not high value women. When I say high value women, I am, you know, I think the lines are blurred between what a high value woman is and the modern woman. I think modern women have been put into a section of the red pill content creators as being people who are entitled. And I think that is just the way the world is. Most of the times we want what we can't get. And with women, it's always been that way. Women always wanted what they can't get. I always tell men, if you really want a beautiful woman, Do you want a beautiful woman? Get a wedding band, put it on your finger, and ignore that woman. See what happens. It's crazy, man. It is. I mean, I've never done that myself, but just try it for yourself. Women, especially beautiful women, they want the man that they can't have. It's in their DNA to play the game, you know, just like animals do, you know, they play the game. Do you know how peacocks mate, you know, and they put up their feathers, and whoever the female sees as having the biggest feathers, the brightest, bluest colors, you know, they fall for that particular cock and they mate with them. I think that we have something going on like that within our own species. Women don't want it easy. They don't want it easy. They want it to be, I don't know, they want to succeed. They want to battle. This is part of the reason why they go after the men who they can't really have, or they are not supposed to have, because for them it's a battle, it's a game to be able to take that prize off another woman. I know I'm going to get a lot of drawback from this. I think a lot of Iris's friends are going to watch this video and they're going to be like, don't let that man on your video again by himself. So anyway, where am I going with this? Okay, so it would be interesting to ask the BOTEZ sisters whether or not they would entertain Andrew or Tristan Tate. There are a lot of men who look up to the BOTEZ sisters. The vast majority of their following are male. And perhaps Andrew Tate is right. Perhaps this is part of them coming from a traditional background where they still have their parents from Romania. They still have that inside their blood, inside their DNA. So perhaps that is the reason why, ironically, they would never go for a man like Tristan or Andrew Tate. Tristan and Andrew Tate are living in Romania, but you got to remember that I think the average wage in Romania is around $300 a month. We're talking about an EU country here. It's around $300 a month. And if you are a person like Andrew Tate, who was at one point earning around $1 million a week, and you're living in Romania, you're going to be seen as more than a king. You're going to be able to have your pick of the bunch. So that's how I think. That's how I feel. That's what I truly believe. I think even with that, I think that the vast majority of women who are beautiful, intelligent, with a low body count, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to give you my conclusion here. I believe that those women would only go for a man who would reciprocate that. This is something crazy for me to say, and I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me. Okay, perhaps you'll agree with me with a woman who is beautiful is going to want a man who is beautiful. A woman who is intelligent is going to want a man who is intelligent. But a woman with a low body count may not necessarily want a man with a low body count. A lot of women want a man who has, to a certain degree, had a decent amount of experience. This is for one of two reasons that I've already spoken about. For one, they see that man as being the trophy that all these other women couldn't get. But I got this man. But I got him. And I settled him down. And that reflects onto me because, you know, all you women weren't worth anything but me. Yeah, he is now completely monogamous with me. And that's what goes on in a woman's mind, I believe, when they get themselves a man like that. I think another thing is that a woman just wants a man who has already had that experience, and thus they don't see women as targets anymore. It's like, okay, you've got the best woman. I have the best woman. And from my point of view, Iris is the most beautiful woman, both inside and out, that I have ever met, right? So I see myself as being extremely lucky to have met a woman like her. Not to have just met her, but to have a family with her, to have made children with her. You know, that's a real privilege, that is. So I'm blessed in those ways. If I need to be brutally honest with you, I wouldn't go around looking for other women. And that's part of the reason why. Why destroy and ruin a perfect relationship with the perfect woman because you're thinking with what's down there and not what's here? You think part of the reason also that I don't look at other women's just because I don't see women as goals anymore. I see women, I'm going to say something again that you guys are not going to like. I see them as problems. Really. When I know a guy who's married to multiple women, I'm like, well, how can you be married to multiple women? You know, there's no way you... I mean, I don't know how he's keeping these multiple women happy, but, you know, maybe some men can, but there's no way I'd be able to devote my time, my energy, and my love to more than one woman. No way. No chance. You know, one woman is enough for me, you know, from my point of view. And, you know, the trouble, everything else that comes involved with being promiscuous, with having an extramarital affair is just, no, not for me anymore. I'm finished. I'm retired. Me and Iris are now in a situation where we can further solidify our relationship based on those principles and based on the love that we have for one another. So guys, if you are truly looking for that woman, that one, right? I would strongly advise you to look in the right places. I do have another video coming out. Iris has not edited that video yet. We are both in that video because it was before she had her little accident. So it will be coming out soon, where I talk about where men can find themselves that unicorn woman. Yeah, you will be getting that video soon. Iris will be editing that video soon. We're going to get the whip and get her next to the laptop and get her to do some work even though she's ill, and we are going to be able to follow on from what we just spoke about. If Andrew Tate or Tristan Tate watches this video, I would suggest you get in contact. If you have not already, get in contact with the BOTEZ sisters. It would be cool to see you guys go head to head with the BOTEZ sisters. It would be interesting to see what the outcome would be from that. Again, I don't mean any offense, but I truly believe that if you are a man and you want yourself the perfect woman, the high value woman, don't follow or listen to the Tate brothers, because it is likely you're not going to get that high value woman if you follow and do the things that they tell you to do, unfortunately. Yes, we do live in a world where we don't have the traditional framework of a woman that used to be, but from my point of view, we have something better. We have women who are able to freely express themselves, and that for me is the most important thing, because it creates something that all men can aspire to. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.